This is a car that I believe you were involved in at some point early on in the process when we saw the Santa Cruz in the Detroit Auto Show in 2015. We saw the Santa Cruz concept debut. I was always really fond of that because, obviously in the U.S. market, when I was living and spending time, particularly in California, there was a huge enthusiasm for mini trucks. And indeed, when I grew up in the U.S., there was, trucks from Nissan, from Toyota, compact pickups that had, what they would call a king cab, a little back, and that was in Nissan terminology, a little back area where you had a fold down seat and make it more practical. And that was something that was, really kind of a white space in the market. I think it's been missing for a long time. And so, it's nice to see that Hyundai has come out with something to fill that need for something a bit more compact. Now, again, it's going to be more car-like, mainly because it's on a unibody construction, but it is nowhere near what a Honda Ridgeline was. And I think the Ridgeline missed the mark for two reasons. One, it was too big. It was not something that was considered, a mini truck, certainly. The bed was too small as well. And then it was riding on these little wheels. But secondly, and more importantly, no one really saw Honda as making, a truck. And arguably, Toyota and Nissan were seen in the same way when they first entered the market. And so Hyundai coming now, I think the time is right. The timing is way more like, geared towards having something like that be successful, especially off the back of this pandemic, where people want to go out and do more stuff, adventure and all the rest, and to have it developed in California as it was. I'm a big fan of that product. I mean, I'd love to get behind the wheel and see what it actually drives and what it's like. But from a distance, looking at pictures, I think they made that translation well from concept to production using now Hyundai's new design language and new identity, especially from the truck segment, seeing as they're taking the face off the Tucson and all the rest. So I'm a big fan of that.
I'm a big fan too, Eric. And I mean, it was 2015 that they showed the Santa Cruz in Detroit. And actually, Car Design Research was sort of involved with that program in as much as we did a lot of on the show floor evaluation of that concept and essentially provide a package to try to help substantiate that conceptual direction. Because as you know better than most, the whole concept of a truck in the States is very distinct, and there's a lot of quite emotive responses to it. And, the Ridgeline didn't succeed, and you won't find many people who are sort of petrol heads, gearheads in the States that don't have a viewpoint that's quite strong about trucks and what it is and what it isn't and what it can't be. And fundamentally what Hyundai are doing here and what they did with their show car was something a lot of people said was not right, was not getting it, was not a proper truck, etc. But then again, as you've also said, it's a white space. You've got trucks, you've got crossovers. I'm trying to get on camera here. You've got trucks, you've got crossovers. This is a space that sits in between, and it can work. And Subaru really, they attempted this in a very interesting way, but not necessarily in the most logical way, and certainly not the most attractive resulting design way, maybe. A Honda, they succeeded to some degree, of course, but they also failed in other respects, probably because essentially they were trying to go head to head with something with a different sort of set of ingredients. This is not trying to do that. This is very much going, here is a bit of a space. It makes sense. With my British head on, of course, I don't get trucks at all. It's like, well, look, you'll get rain on your kit. It will get stolen. Why would you put it? Well, I just don't get it. But from the US perspective, I imagine this product really ought to do well. I'm very much, I'd bet the house on it. It's got a really distinct position here, and I think it sits at that crossroads comfortably. So I've, got every expectation that the design team that executes it and the product people behind making this happen, some of whom are no longer at Hyundai, I really think we should take our hats off to them, because it's great to see something which is actually fresh conceptually in the US market, which doesn't actually happen so very often if we take out the electrified products of recent years. So no, I think it's impressive. And actually also just briefly to mention, interesting detail in that bed, you've got a secure storage in the base of that too. So it's been thought through thoroughly. It's not just a sort of whimsical thing. It's not just a new design type. They've gone through this product very thoroughly. I think it's a good proposition.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I guess it took a little while for everyone to kind of, put their finger on exactly what it is that they wanted to develop. I had a chance to chat with the design team as well about this truck, and I think it will be successful. And I mean, look, they're not the only ones looking at this. I mean, you had Volkswagen with the Tarok, you've got Ford coming out with the Mavericks, which is actually very interesting because Mavericks is a surfing spot in California. Santa Cruz is known for surfing as well. So the fact that they've named these trucks after popular surf spots, I mean, kind of gives you an idea of what the target demographic is. And there's a number of contenders that are looking to enter into this space. And these types of products do exist elsewhere in the world and are successful. So there's no reason why this type of lifestyle sports adventure vehicle, as they're calling it, won't be a success in the U.S. market.